Oh, welcome to my tomatoes. I've been growing tomatoes here on my property since 2017, so that's 8 years now. And this year, for the first time, I think I've really achieved amazing success. Now, there's one particular reason that I can attribute the success to, which I will explain at the end of the video. But first I want to just show you around so you can see all the different tomatoes. What I do is every year I purchase a whole bunch of different varieties. This year I've got almost about 30 different varieties, and you know, as an industrial engineer, my whole aim in life is to optimize everything that I do. So I've tried to achieve that in growing tomatoes, and I think, you know, finally after 8 years of trying, I finally think I've discovered how to do it. I do everything normally as people normally do when they grow tomatoes. Nothing special, nothing crazy. I use the same fertilizers, the same methods. When I plant the seed, I plant seed in 2 trays for each variety, in just normal germination mix that I get from a shop. I choose then most likely normally the 2 best plants that come out of the seed trays, and then I plant them in this area. This area is 9 meters wide by 17 meters long, and I just plant haphazardly. I just, as the plants grow, I just put them the best growing ones, the healthiest ones, select, and I just come and I just randomly place them in the soil. The beds are well, let me show you. I'll first take you around, show you how I typically do things, and then I'll speak I'll save the big reason for the end of the video. So let me show you around first. So I'm just going to. So have a look at this, these tomatoes. And this tomato here is massive. It's about diameter of about 12 centimeters. I've got medium-sized hands. You can see how massive this thing is. It is absolutely humongous, and they're all like that. All the different varieties have come out to be huge. Have a look at this tomato bush here. Have a look at all these flowers. Right now it's starting to turn to tomatoes, but you should have seen it when it was flowering. It was absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Look at these massive tomatoes here, massive, all different varieties. This is Roma tomato. Can you believe it? Have you ever seen a Roma tomato that is as big as this thing? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's so huge. Look at these guys. Look at this one. It's like a football. It's so huge. It's like a football. It's massive. Huge, huge, huge. It's just absolutely incredible how big they are. It's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. just incredible how massive they are and how beautiful they are. Incredible. And they're all different varieties. They're just ginormous. Absolutely ginormous. We even have some purple ones here. Look at these, just amazing. How big they are, how big and meaty they are. Massive. Look at, you can see this. It's just incredible how massive they are. Look at this. It's just, I don't know if you can see, but it is just a massive. Oh, it must weigh, this one here is, geez, that's going to be at least a kilogram, if not 1.5 kilograms. That's just amazing, absolutely amazing. All right, so beautiful tomatoes, and every single variety has just really just is doing so well. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. Every single variety this year is just doing amazing, absolutely incredible. Okay, so how do I do this? Well, if one looks at a bed, you can see that it's a normal, it's about 40 centimeters wide bed. Every year I just put about this much of horse manure on top. Don't mix it in, just put it on top. Then I use, let me just, sorry, I've just turned the camera around so now I can actually show you things properly. Let me just take a few shots of these. Look at that, look how big that is. It is incredible. Where's this massive guy here? Have you ever seen a tomato that's big, that big? It is just insane. Absolutely insane, these tomatoes. Just so massive. My hands are average size hands, medium size hands, so you can see how massive these tomatoes are. They're just incredible. Okay, so what I do every year is, there's a weed. That's one of the reasons why I use straw, is to reduce weeds. Okay, so every year what I'll do is I'll put about a layer about that thick, that's about 10 centimeters of horse manure on top of the bed. I won't mix it in, just put it on top of the bed. Then I will take about a handful of fertilizer, and this is the fertilizer I use. Right, and bone meal as well. I don't know where the bone meal is, but just that fertilizer and bone meal. About a handful of fertilizer and bone meal for each position of tomato plant. Then I will, as I say, transplant the young plants from my greenhouse, and then it's just a matter of making sure that they are pruned correctly. And you can see I just use the string method. So I just basically and I just find the best way to do it is just by hand. Make them go up the strings, and I will tend to cut away the sections so that there's one long stem. And I'll do this for most varieties, although some varieties you'll see that I just kind of let them go mad. And generally it's the cherry ones that I let go mad. So here, for instance, I've decided for some reason to allow this guy to have an offshoot, but I will also train the offshoot up the string. And the whole idea for doing this is to, and it doesn't matter whether it's a determinate variety or indeterminate variety. I will train them up strings, all of them. And as they grow up, I will cut the leaves off that cover the low hanging fruit. And basically, one needs to understand that a tomato plant is it's a very interesting plant because it's dying at the bottom, yet it's growing at the top. So what I believe happens is the leaves at the bottom, its first leaves, once it starts to generate fruit, those leaves start to die. And you need to understand that when a tomato plant is going to die, or the leaves are going to die, it's generally going to get some kind of disease. And all you have to do is just cut those leaves off, no matter what the disease. So I don't care or pay attention to any diseases. All I do basically is cut the leaves off when they are covering the plants, because you want to have your plants, your fruit uncovered so that they can get very, very well ventilated. So you can see here, for instance, here the leaves going up now are even starting to die. And what's going to happen with this plant very shortly is, as I harvest these bottom tomatoes, I will drop the string down. The bottom of the plant stem will start to fold, and so it will start another, let's say, phase of growth, and that will happen over a number of months. So every time I harvest the bottom, I'll drop the plant and then start the cycle again. And as I said, so as soon as the leaves are getting to the point where they're starting to cover fruit, I think they start to die from any one of the many different diseases. I think that's just a natural occurrence. And I will just cull the leaves. I will just cut the leaves off, and so be it. And it seems to work very fine. Another thing I do is I use organic pesticides or things that try and keep pests at bay. But I do that very sparingly, and I will look for the fruits that have been attacked by whatever insect, and I will treat those specifically. So I'm trying to minimize everything I do. Okay, so basically these plants, besides being put into the ground with that fertilizer, I don't add any other fertilizer to them at all. Like I say, I just cull the leaves, and sometimes here I'm letting a new shoot grow off the base of that, just because I've got a gap over here, and I can just allow that new guy to create its own plant. So these plants in this patch are watered 3 times a day. Here's the watering machine. Okay, so they're watered every single day, 6 o'clock in the morning, then at 11 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the run time for every one of those is 15 minutes. So basically they are watered 45 minutes every day. That's a lot of watering, absolute lots of watering. But at this stage where they're producing so much fruit, these plants need to be watered continuously, and especially now that it's summer. Okay, so what am I doing differently to normal methods? Well, what I've discovered, which is not a discovery, because it's quite now that if you think about it, it's extremely logical that it would occur, is that tomatoes love and hate water at the same time. So they love water, they need to be watered a lot, they are voracious feeders or drinkers of water, but they absolutely hate water to get onto their leaves. They want their leaves to remain dry. That is the fundamental difference that I've done this year to all the other years. And all the other years I just got average tomatoes. I got lots of tomatoes, but they're average size. Nothing anywhere as close to as huge as these are. I mean, normally this would be quarter of the size of this fruit, and I would never get a giant like this. This is a kilo, easily a kilo. It's just ginormous. Where's my tape measure? Let's have a look. So that's about, it's about 13 centimeters in diameter, and 13 by, I would say 9, 13 by 9. That is ginormous. Okay, so as I said, the trick is to not get water on the leaves. Tomato plants want to get watered, want water, and they want lots of water, and they only want it at their roots. So you'll see my irrigation. I have pipes that run to every single tomato plant. So each tomato plant is watered separately through my irrigation system. And as I showed you, it does it 3 times a day. The other thing I do is I put straw from our stables on the ground. This helps retain the moisture in the soil, and it also, of course, reduces weeds. Besides that, the key is there is a roof on top of the tomatoes. This is a normal greenhouse roof, and it prevents any water from getting on their leaves, and that has been the absolute key. Keep water off the leaves. That's been the key reason for the success this year. And you'll see that this is very low. It's only about 2 meters No, not even. It's about 1.9 meters here on this corner over here. It's only about 1.85 meters. And the reason why it's so low is I just had to keep the roof below the line of the wall as a favor to my neighbor who didn't want to look at the nasty roof all day long when he drives down his driveway. So I would have preferred it to be another meter taller, but it's worked quite well. So this roof makes it, of course, very, very hot inside here. The temperature gets over 30 degrees Celsius. But so long as I'm watering as frequently and as prolific as I'm doing, I mean 45 minutes of watering a day, every single day, 3 times a day, is a lot of water. So they can handle the heat. Okay, the time has come to pick some of the big tomatoes. I brought the kitchen scale so that we can just see how heavy these tomatoes are. $876 grams, not too shabby. $648. $701. $518. Not too bad, not too bad.